The shocking truth about forever chemicals and how to avoid them. If you've ever sipped from a takeaway coffee cup, or you've worn your favourite leggings or sports bra to the gym, or you've reheated last night's curry in a plastic tub, congratulations, you are marinating in forever chemicals. And no, this isn't conspiracy theory nonsense, this is solid science. Today I'm going to break down exactly what these chemicals are, why they're lurking everywhere, and most importantly, how you can reduce your exposure without having to live like a hermit in the hills. Let's get stuck in. In case you're new here, I'm Emma Voysey, health coach, food lover, and your no-nonsense guide to navigating this crazy world. Today we're going to dive into the truth about forever chemicals and, importantly, how to protect yourself without losing your mind. And I'm filming today from the Pal ski area in Andorra. So chances are if you've ever visited Andorra, you came here in the wintertime for skiing, so you may have skied here. This is one of my favourite areas to ski actually, because I know this one better than any of the others because it's literally under 10 minutes to walk down to the gondola and less than 10 minutes again to get up. I think my record was from shutting the front door behind me, leaving the house to getting up here and skiing off was 17 minutes. So yeah, nice place to be. So today on Emma's Exciting Andorra, continuing adventures of Emma's Exciting Andorra life, I thought I would show you what a ski resort looks like in the summer. Because chances are if you've ever visited Andorra, you may have come here to ski. And in the summertime, it's a very different place. We have a very busy and active mountain bike sport base here. We've just had the UCI Mountain Bike World Series. That was over the last few days. And the place is still full of bikes. It's Monday morning and I'm walking down to the ski lift. I have a ski pass, which means I can ski anytime I want to. As a resident, this is one of the massive bonuses of living in this beautiful country, is that you can buy a ski pass. It's like £400 or not even that, $500, something like that. And you can ski whenever you want to. But it also means you can go up the mountain in the summertime whenever you want to, which is also delightful because the walking is incredible. So I'm going to take you on the telecabin, which is 10 minutes walk. No, not even that, 7 minutes walk from my house, and show you a different place I haven't shown you before. First thing you have to do is get on the pet-friendly gondola. Here we go, Max. Because, of course, Mikey's with me. Here we go. Oh, good boy. Good boy. This is the pet-friendly gondola, so it obviously smells really good. Mikey dog. Hey, there's always loads of construction going on in Andorra. They're always building new roads, putting up new blocks of flats, building new houses, and it's such a lot of work because they have to literally carve the mountainside out in order to build anything. And people who've lived here for 20, 30, 40 years will tell you that the building is ruining the country, but the country has to survive, doesn't it? And they do that by building properties and attracting people to come and live here because it's a very favourable tax regime. Income tax is about 10%. And lots of people, therefore, do want to come and live in Andorra. Oh, and for those of you who keep asking me about my hat, I bought it in Javier in Spain last year while I was on holiday. But I've found that Zara has them. Not quite the same, but I've just ordered a couple, so I've got a couple of backups. I'm always fearful of losing this one because it has been the most brilliant peak just to keep the glare of the sun out of my eyes in the middle of the day, particularly when I'm filming. And your head stays cool because I've got loads of hair, so if I wear a hat I get really hot. Anyway, this has been a great solution, and Zara seems to have several different ones. So if you can't get yourself down to Spain, to one of the coastal resorts where the shops are full of them, try Zara. Also a Spanish company. There we go. Good boy, good boy. Come on. Come on. Now. And there you have it. Summer mountains. Still plenty going on up here because of the biking. Oh, only 5 months. We'll be able to get back on the snow again. So in this beautiful location, I'm going to talk to you today all about forever chemicals, where they're hiding and how to avoid them. So what are forever chemicals anyway? The fancy name is PFAS, which is short for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Blimey, I give myself some complicated words to say. These are a family of over 10,000 synthetic compounds which are engineered to repel water, oil and stains. Sounds really useful, doesn't it? That's why they've wormed their way into pretty much every corner of our modern lives. So that's in your non-stick pans, your stain-resistant carpets, your waterproof jackets, your fast food wrappers, makeup that doesn't budge for 72 hours. But their superpower is also their curse, because they don't break down at all. Their carbon-fluorine bonds are so strong that they can persist in the environment for hundreds and some say thousands of years. That's why scientists call them forever chemicals, because they're basically immortal. So why should we care? Because these chemicals aren't just floating around looking innocent. They actively mess with your health. Older PFAS like PFOA and PFOS have been linked to certain cancers, reduced fertility, thyroid disease, liver damage, immune system dysfunction, and developmental delays in children. They were so worrying that many countries, including the UK and the US, started to phase them out in the early 2000s after studies started showing that they were linked to these conditions I just mentioned. Particularly, well, not all of them, not particularly any of them. They're all horrible, aren't they? So here's the kicker. The banned chemicals are still here. They're embedded in the soil that we grow our food in, and the water that we drink. The newer, supposedly less harmful replacement chemicals, they're very similar, and they are also largely untested. Come on. Come on. Good boy.
Hola.
Hola.
Catalan? English?
English.
You can't go up here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Did you not see the...
No, it was open.
Okay.
So I didn't know, sorry. It was a good place to film. After you. Okay. Have fun. Hola. Hola. Have fun. Okay, let's go this way. Good boy. Quite shouty, these guys, because they've got these big helmets on. So, a brief history of how we got here. PFAS was first created in the 1930s in the US and in Germany. But it was in the 1950s when DuPont started using PFOA to make Teflon, the world's first non-stick coating, which was just absolutely incredible at the time. You know, imagine that. You've been struggling away with pans that weren't non-stick, didn't exist, and then Teflon is invented. Must have been amazing. Then things really took off. So Teflon made life so much easier because there was no more scrubbing pans. But behind the scenes, these chemicals were leaching into the waterways and the soil, and eventually leaching into us as well. So fast forward to today, and they're so widespread that you'll find them in rainwater, even in the Arctic, in your tap water and bottled water, and in the blood of 97% of the people who've been tested worldwide. This persistence means that PFAS are now ubiquitous. They are found in soil and air and drinking water and rainwater, and even in the blood of almost every person on the earth. Even newborn babies arrive in the world preloaded with a starter pack of PFAS. It's not exactly the welcome gift you'd hope for, is it? So Dr. Dave Megson, who's an environmental forensic scientist at Manchester Metropolitan University, put it bluntly. I'm still concerned about them, he says. We've banned the two chemicals we know the most about The replacements are nearly identical, they're just less understood, and their toxicity hasn't been fully confirmed. That seems to be the loophole because we haven't proven that they're harmful yet, but they're still allowed. So Dr. Dave thinks that these chemicals will also be banned in time, and we're just waiting for the toxicological data to catch up. We need time to prove how harmful these PFAS are. Ian Cousins, who's a professor of environmental organic chemistry at Stockholm University in Sweden, thinks that most uses are unnecessary. We shouldn't be using them because they're so persistent and there are alternatives on the market. In other words, it's just a waiting game to confirm the damage. So what these different countries are doing about it. So in the USA, they phased out the worst PFAS, PFOA, PFOS in the early 2000s. In 2024, they set the first enforceable drinking water limits at near zero levels. Military and industrial sites are still heavily contaminated, and thousands of replacement PFAS do remain in use with patchy regulation. In Australia, banned PFOS and PFOA in 2019, so quite recently compared with the US. There was a big contamination scandal from firefighting foam around military bases, and Australia still allows many newer PFAS in packaging and in textiles, and regulations vary state by state. Over in the EU, they are moving forward with a comprehensive proposal to restrict the manufacture, use and marketing of approximately 10,000 PFAS. Canada banned PFOS in 2008 and PFOA in 2016, with some exceptions. Drinking water limits are looser than they are in the US. They are considering a broad ban on PFAS in firefighting foam, and they're moving towards grouping all PFAS as a single regulated class. So, in a nutshell, the EU, tell yourself a stick, come on, the EU is leading the crackdown. The US is catching up with stricter water standards, and Australia and Canada have banned the old villains, but they still allow PFAS. The UK? Well, unfortunately, they are lagging behind everyone else. Why is the UK so far behind? So while the EU is moving ahead with plans to restrict around 10,000 PFAS, the UK has been slower to act. And it's no surprise, given the UK's lack of regulation, that a global study assessing blood serums containing PFAS found that Britain has some of the highest PFAS levels in human blood anywhere. That's terrible, isn't it? I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment. The highest levels of PFAS in human blood anywhere in the world. And while the regulators dither, these compounds just keep accumulating in your body and in the environment. And a few banned chemicals have been removed, like PFOS in firefighting foam and PFOA in some products, but overall regulation is patchy at best. Isn't it? Really? So while we're waiting for the UK government to catch up with the rest of the world, there are measures that you could take now to reduce exposure. So how are you being exposed right now? Let's talk real life, because PFAS aren't just in obscure industrial plants, they are in your house. So number one is drinking water. Contamination hotspots are everywhere. In Scotland, PFAS were detected in over half of the water samples that were tested in 2023. Sites near military bases, especially old airfields, are notorious for contaminated aquifers because of firefighting foam. Non-stick pans. Even if you ditched your Teflon in the 90s, many non-stick products can still contain similar chemicals. Overheating those pans, so if you do them on anything other than a low temperature, that can release PFAS, which is laden with fumes. Carpets and upholstery. Scotchgard treated carpets from decades ago are now shedding dust laced with PFAS, and that dust floats around your home and you inhale it every day. So if you've got someone living in your household with your old carpets who suffers from asthma, might be time to look at that. Could be a big issue for that person and you didn't even realise. Clothing and gym kit. So over 70% of sportswear tested in a 2022 study contained PFAS. Sweat helps to absorb those chemicals faster into your skin. Food packaging, pizza boxes, burger wrappers, Takeaway containers, they're all coated with PFAS to stop grease seeping through. So when hot oily food sits in those plastic containers or foam containers, the chemicals transfer straight to your dinner. Yet another reason to ditch the fast foods. Cosmetics, this is a big one. Waterproof mascara, long wear foundation, and those 24-hour lipsticks, they all owe their staying power to PFAS. Every time you slick them on, you're applying a microdose of toxins. So what else can you do to reduce exposure? Well, I'm not here to make you paranoid, absolutely the opposite. I'm here to empower you and make you proactive. So here's where we start. Number 1, ditch the bottled water and invest in a good filter instead. Reverse osmosis and activated carbon filters are the most effective. Brands like Berkey or Aquasana have been independently tested for PFAS removal. The most effective water filters for removing PFAS use reverse osmosis, activated carbon, or ion exchange. Reverse osmosis systems can remove up to 99% of PFAS, while your activated carbon filters, like the Water 2 filter that I use under my sink, also works well. They do work well as long as the filters are changed regularly. So, you know, the manufacturer might tell you that filter lasts for a year. I don't trust that. I change them much more frequently than that, maybe every 4 to 6 months. Swap your non-stick pans for cast iron or stainless steel. Yes, they're heavier and they need seasoning. Learn how to use them, but you won't be leaching chemicals into your food anymore. Even ceramic-coated pans can come with a layer of chemicals that you don't want in your breakfast. Many alternative health experts suggest that poaching or steaming food in water is a safer way to cook your food, safer than certainly than shallow frying. These gentler techniques, they avoid the browning that we get from frying, which is when, or from roasting, which is when the proteins and fats can become oxidized, or they can form harmful compounds themselves, like advanced glycation end products, or AGEs that may contribute to inflammation in the body. Vacuum with a HEPA filter. Old carpets release this contaminated dust. A good vacuum will reduce what you breathe in. Get an air purifier with activated carbon in it. So HEPA filters trap these dust-bound PFAS, and carbon filters absorb gaseous PFAS. So ideally you'd have both. And maybe think about getting rid of your carpets. Have hard floors instead that are easier to keep clean, and use rugs which you can shampoo. Very easy to clean those. So definitely avoid, this is a big one, microwaving food in plastic. Heat increases chemical leaching. Use glass or ceramic instead of plastic. And I'd go even further than that and suggest avoiding microwaving food altogether, as it can superheat the molecules unevenly and potentially degrade sensitive nutrients, much more so than gentler cooking methods like the poaching that we talked about just now. Choose PFAS-free gym clothes and outdoor wear. I've been doing this for a few months now, ever since my big declutter in January, trying to weed out the clothes that are just full of chemicals that I didn't realise. Many performance fabrics are treated with this PFAS or forever chemicals to make them waterproof and stain resistant. These chemicals don't break down easily, and they can build up in your body over time, potentially impacting your hormones and your immunity and your metabolic health. You don't need any more stuff against you, so think about this. I know you paid 70 quid for your Lululemon leggings, but are they really serving you as well as a cotton pair could be? So look for brands like Patagonia and Rab and Foul Raven, who have committed to phasing out PFAS in their waterproof ranges. They are fearfully expensive, but they're better for you. You can also check the labels for PFC-free or PFAS-free claims. Choose untreated natural fibres like organic cotton or merino wool for everyday wear. I recently bought my hubby some gorgeous men's sports shorts from a brand called Nero Fabric, who say Nero shorts are crafted from premium organic cotton and merino wool, ensuring comfort, performance and sustainability. Unlike traditional polyester shorts, Nero shorts naturally resist odours and require less frequent washing. They are, according to my husband, the nicest thing in his life, next to me. I've put a link in the description below which gives you 10% off your purchase. Really, really nice shorts. Only a small range at the moment, but really worth it. So wash new synthetic clothing before using it. That will remove some of the residual chemicals, because these small changes are going to reduce your exposure and support those companies moving towards safer materials. Are you going this way?
No.
I wanted to film you over the bump.
Yeah. You want to do it?
Go on then. Make it a good one. It's going on YouTube.
Sorry?
It's going on YouTube, so make it a good one.
Oh, okay.
Don't fall off.
What's the name of the channel?
Emma Voysey Health.
Okay.
So,
Emma Voysey Health?
yeah.
Okay. I tried to check it.
It's all filmed in Andorra.
Okay, thank you.
So can you remove these PFAS once they're inside of you? It is hard, but it's not hopeless. Some emerging options. Blood and plasma donation. A 2022 Australian study showed that plasma donation reduced PFAS levels by up to 30% in a year. That's amazing. And there's this medication called cholestyramine. So cholestyramine medication binds PFAS in your gut, helping you to then excrete them. Cholestyramine is a prescription powder, usually given to lower cholesterol, but it also helps to bind PFAS in the gut so that you can get rid of them. You're going to need to talk to your doctor about this one because it's prescription. A couple of brand name examples are Questran or Prevolite. Just be aware it can interfere with other medication and sometimes it causes bloating or constipation. So supervision is essential. It wouldn't be my choice. I'd rather go for the blood or plasma donation, or sweating, saunas and exercise may help eliminate some PFAS. Much better option. So regular sweating, whether that's from exercise or from heat exposure in something like a sauna, heat therapy in a sauna, can help your body to excrete a range of fat stored toxins, including certain PFAS. So Dr. Sarah Myhill points out that for every 50 episodes of sweating, your body will halve its burden of persistent chemicals. That means consistency matters far more than the occasional sauna visit. Consistency over perfection, that old chestnut. So infrared saunas are said to be particularly effective because they heat the tissue so deeply, encouraging a steady release of these stored chemicals through your sweat glands. Although some experts, such as the lovely Dr. Sean O'Mara, he doesn't advocate for infrared as a therapy, as he says that they haven't been around for long enough to guarantee their safety, these infrared devices. You'll have to decide that for yourself. If you can't access a sauna, either Nordic or infrared, and you can also buy a sauna bag and just have it at home, either like a little tent that you sit in or like a big sleeping bag or a sauna blanket. Just regular vigorous exercise that gets you sweating is also massively beneficial. So beneficial for everything. Turns out it's beneficial for getting rid of forever chemicals out of your body, as well as for building your muscles and your state of mind and all the other majorly beneficial things that we do exercise for. The feel-good factor. Stay well hydrated with electrolytes to replace lost minerals. Mikey, come over here. Shower promptly after sweating to wash those toxins off your skin. They come out in your sweat as greasy deposits, and you actually have to use soap to shower them off, to get them off. Otherwise, they just reabsorb again. Build up gradually if you're not used to heat exposure, and over time, this simple habit can support your liver, your lymphatic system, and gently lower your chemical load. So what about microplastics? PFAS and microplastics are best mates. They bind together So microplastics become these little chemical taxis that ferry PFAS around the environment. And when fish eat them in the sea, because the sea is full of plastic that we've put there, and then you eat the fish, the chemicals hitch a ride up the food chain. So, final thoughts. The truth is, you can't live in this modern world and completely avoid PFAS, but awareness is definitely power. Every time you swap a non-stick pan for cast iron, or you filter your water, or you choose a different takeaway container, or you say no to disposable coffee cups, you're voting with your wallet and reducing your body's toxic load at the same time. Because it's not about perfection, it's about progress. If you're interested in working one-to-one with me on my 3-month coached program, which is called Sweet Enough, then please send me an email. And if you want to go it alone and do the 3-month course, but without the coaching element, that's what Maximum Fat Loss is designed for. That's my new course, which is still on early bird special offer until the end of July 2025. People are just having fantastic results and changing their lives all over the world with the methods that I'm teaching to them. And I'm not just teaching them how to lose weight, I'm teaching them how to regain health and how to sustain it and never be hungry and never count calories and never be starving, never do a starvation diet again or a crazy approach. So if you enjoyed this video, you might like one of these two next. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It really helps me to grow my channel and bring you more information like this. And so from the Pal ski area, I wish you a good day. Cheerio for now. Just gonna wait for the pet one now, mates.